Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the special call meeting of the Bee County Commissioners Court. Today is Monday, August 25, 2025. The time is 9:01 a.m. We're physically located at the Bee County Courthouse, Commissioners Courtroom, number 110, 105 West Corpus Christi St, Beeville, Texas 78102. That was agenda item number 1. Would everybody please rise and join Commissioner DeWitt in a brief prayer?
Father God, we want to thank you for this day. Thank you for putting us on this earth. Guide us, direct us. Give us the wisdom to do what's right for the county and for the people. Give us a little more rain if you don't mind, sir. Some of us got some rain, some didn't. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas Pledge. Honor to the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Rolling right through it. That was agenda item number 3. We're on agenda item number 4, recognition of visitors. For any visitors that are in the audience today, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is not public comment, but if you do wish for your name to be contained in the transcription of this agenda, at this time, I'd invite you to let me know by raising your hand. I'll call on you, and you can state your name and who you're here with today. Is there anybody who'd like to do? Oh, I thought I had one taker in the back, but he shied out. All right, moving on. Agenda item number 5, Commissioners Court opening remarks. Commissioner Olivares, I think it's your turn. Am I wrong?
You're correct.
Oh, excellent. Look at that. Batting 1,000.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I'd like to start with a little recognition to Bobby Jameson, code enforcer, and ensuring compliance throughout our town. We had a property located in Skidmore where the grass was overgrown, and the neighbor was basically expressing her concerns about unwanted rodents and then unwanted guests that was living in the house. So Mr. Jameson contacted the owner, submitted a certified letter, and we got some results. So hopefully the grass will get cut this week. So it was a good positive note. So hopefully we'll do it. So Bobby, thank you. Appreciate you helping us with compliance. Also, one new thing will be coming up. I'll be partnering up with the Texas Workforce Solution. They will be having a training trailer, bus if you will, on September the 3rd from 10 to 2. Well, the bus will be parked at the JP's office there in Skidmore. And this is an excellent opportunity for anyone that is needing assistance in job placement assistance, helping with resumes, whatever. Also, any skill training programs and scholarships that are available, they have those there, especially in the area around Microsoft 365, Word, and Excel, which are the two biggest things if you're working anywhere. Those are some big key components. Also, they provide some additional counseling should you need it. So, great thing to do. In addition to that, I wanted to follow up on an old action item. One of the things I wanted to help do is facilitate some training needs for our employees in areas of Excel or Word, and they'll do this training for free. We can do it in a classroom session. We can do it in small increments of time. But it's very, very valuable, and I think it'll help. And it's for free. That's the key thing. But since I've said that, we've only had one person express interest, so I'm going to reach back out to the department heads again and see if there's anyone, if we can spark up some more interest to get that done. Great training, super easy. Excel, you can do so many things with it. I'm a big Excel user and learning something new every day. Also, I attended the appraisal district board meeting this past week. Very good meeting. A lot of good things are coming through there. We're in the process of finalizing our EOC ribbon cutting ceremonies. Currently, we have a schedule for September 22nd. The EOC is turning out to be a building that I think everyone is starting to see the value that is brought to the county. So the ARPA committee, thank you very much for getting the funding. It's going to play huge dividends to the county. Meeting rooms, I mean, it's just great. Hopefully we don't have to use it as a true emergency, but it's there should we need it. So been getting a lot of compliments from other other counties. Also in Skidmore, I'd like to thank the Road and Bridge Department. We had some overgrown trees on Pelosi Road, so they went with the boom max, trimmed out the trees, and they also filling in a lot of potholes on that. Also, I attended the South Peak County Emergency Service District meeting, which is the fire meeting where they actually pay the bills for all the fire department. Good group of people and excellent information just provided. As far as the JP's office, we've been working on some challenges and getting it fixed. We are seeing some improvement on the warped floors. The mini split that was replaced, I think, is starting to help. Floor is starting to reside. Still got a little bit of an issue, but for the most part, things are getting better. So we do have some minor modifications that will be coming soon, painting and just some touch-up work that buildings have. In Tynan, we held our first Mid-Mod grant meeting with Tynan Water to discuss sewer and water improvements. In attendance, we had our engineer, Anna Aldridge, who was with Hanson Engineering. Commissioner Freitas was there. And the water board members. Great meeting. Got to see first knowledge of the repairs that they have. Now, the timing of this grant couldn't be any better. They are in critical need right now. They're down to one pump. If we lose that one pump, the town's going to be out of water, which will take us now to a whole other emergency situation. So we're going to be moving pretty quickly on that to get that. Also, I had an excellent opportunity to better understand the inner workings of the farmers in our local community. Thanks to Mr. Ronnie Settler and Steve Cheney, they were able to educate me on the formal process of farming. Everything from the planting, the seeding, the science that's involved with that, which I thought you just put a seed in the ground, it's going to grow. Not quite. So a lot of good information. I was able to ride in a combine, witness the actual harvesting of corn and milo. Got to see the corn going into the transporters. Got to bring it to the facilities where we actually did QC on the milo. Got to actually test it, put it in the machines, check the water. Got to see the entire cycle, the paperwork that's required, how it gets weighed, and how it gets distributed, and how it gets transported out. So excellent for me because I've never done that coming from the city. I know guys that are here locally probably do that every day, but it was new for me. Great experience. In Papaloti, I will be hosting a town hall meeting with Hanson Engineering and the residents there, basically to discuss the upcoming enhancements that we're going to be doing to County Road 631 and Silver Creek improvements, and to kind of get their input. Plus, they also wanted to gain a better understanding how they were going to be affected during the construction phase. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Commissioner Wright.
All right. I got called on some potholes that were on Finner, and they ended up not being in the county. They were partly in the city and in the school. The school didn't have any asphalt to put in them, but I called the city and they got those taken care of. So shout out to Henry over at the city. Thank you very much. Assistant chief got in his way a little bit on his new truck vehicle, going back and forth getting that funding for his new officer. And a big shout out to Jamie Pilfrey for the scales that he acquired from Corpus Christi PD. That saved the county over $40,000. He got them for $1. So thank you, for the extra work and extra time you put into that. The carpet got put in at the auditor's office. Haven't gone to see the final on that, but it was looking good already when I saw it. So
April smiling was good.
yes,
Yeah,
it was good.
great.
Well, they did April's offices last week. Now they did the Bolton in the middle
Oh, yeah,
this time
that's
around. So it all looks good. It was 24 years old, I think. So that was the original carpet when they built the building. Yeah, so it was quite worn already.
It was 06 or 05 of the JC building was built.
Just back then. Like Commissioner Olivares said, I attended the meeting in Tynan with Anna Aldridge and with Hanson with the GLO grant. I helped build, I know Mr. Steve Cheney, so I built a timeline for him and I just said, look, you guys got it, they're going to start on it, but let me show you, it's going to take 30 days for this, 30 days. So I built it, I said, we're looking around December, January by the time they actually kick off and get that going. So he understood, he wasn't too happy with that. 6 months from now, they're going to get started. So building that timeline was crucial for them. So I got that going there. We're also going to meet with Pettis next week with Jesse and get them started off on that grant and get them going. So I'll help build them a timeline to see where they're at. Everybody in the GLO got their money at the same time, so we're going to be all scrambling for engineers and companies to work on them. So we're going to get a bottleneck there with trying to get the help and get everything here. Got a call from Ms. Crawford on Airport Road. She had some concerns about some leaves and branches, and called Ray. Ray took care of them, so Ray went down there. She also had some concern about the speed limit sign on 301. That's between, I said, that's Commissioner DeWitt. I went ahead and gave you an assist on that.
Thank you, I appreciate all of it.
Got that done. Had a meeting, a sick pool leave meeting for one of our employees, so we granted him the hours that he needed. And then, let me see, still working on the next phase for the courthouse restoration, and I gotta get with Ms. Francis on that. The boiler ProTech, we're waiting for the parts to come in. They should arrive this week and arrive on site. So I talked to Joseph there, so we got that going. And then I had one call on a house in Blanconia that was overgrown, covered in junk, third fire already this year because of stuff. The fire department was complaining. I called Bobby Jemison, but Bobby Jemison was already on it. He'd already sent the owner a letter, and I think it's a veteran that he's disabled, and he just came and piled all this stuff there and left it. So he's on it right now. So kudos to Mr. Jemison. Thank you very much. And that's my report for the last 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner DeWitt?
Thank you, gentlemen. I've got several things. We're going to bounce around here a little bit, but the first thing I want to do is kudos again to Road and Bridge. Some of us, and we talked about this during the prayer, some of us got some rain last week, some didn't. I was outside the gate at my ranch watching a cloud, and it was raining so hard I had to pull over. I couldn't see, and by the time it got through with the wind and the rain, we had 2 to 3 inches in the ranch. On one end it was 2, the other end was 3. Well, in the meantime, though, it blew a tree down on County Road 120. I got a hold of Road and Bridge, and within 30 minutes they were there cutting that tree up and removing it. So kudos to Road and Bridge. You guys are on the ball. I think they were standing under the shed with their chainsaws in their hand waiting for a call because they were Johnny on the spot. I mean, they were there. They did a great job. It had blocked the road pretty much, so they did good. Another thing Road and Bridge is involved in, we all revere oak trees in this county. And we have several oak trees that are in the middle of county roads. They've been there for 100 years. The trees themselves are probably 150 years old, maybe 200 years old. We have one, though, that is in a county road that it's pretty much an abandoned county road, but it's still a county road and people use it. And a limb fell off of it. The tree actually split. The limb is about as big as this circular part of this dais here. I got a call. I went out and looked at it. When you look at the oak tree, there are plants growing in the forks of the oak tree. Cactus, different type of trees, which means that stuff is deteriorating in there and it's creating a medium for that plant to grow. When you look at the oak too, there's some limbs this big that are just hanging out there, they're dead. And I know it's going to be a lot of work, and it's not something we want to do, but I think we need to take that tree out. It's going to fall on somebody or something. It's already damaged the fence. It's our tree, so we need to fix the fence. But I'm the last one to take out an oak tree, but this one needs to go. There's no state law that says you can't take out an oak tree. There are some city ordinances in some towns like Austin and other places about oak trees, but this one needs to go. And it's a shame. The tree is probably 200 years old. It's as big around as the outside of the dais all the way around. But it's split in the middle, and part of it fell off, and the part that fell off is this big, but it's all, they call it pithy. It's just, you could just take the wood and do this to it. So it's extremely hazardous. So if y'all do that yourselves, be extremely careful, because I've seen limbs like that, they'll just fall. They'll just break and fall, and they're heavy. They will hurt somebody, kill somebody, or take care of a vehicle, but I'll leave that in y'all's hands. I went and looked at it. I agree with, we need to take it out. Some other things we have going on a positive note. The bus stop is back up in Mineral. Beck Brothers Construction did a fantastic job. They were Johnny on the spot. It's honestly better than the first one. I had pictures of the first one when it was damaged and pictures of the new one, and it's like night and day. It's like, golly bum, this really looks nice. And that was what we thought of the first one, because that's what we had. But when you see this one, it's all galvanized. It's beautiful. They did a great job. It's operational now for the school kids. I stopped and talked to a couple of parents this last week, and they're impressed. And make a long story short, no taxpayer dollars went into the construction of the first one, or the demolition, or the reconstruction. The insurance company paid off. They were a little short. An anonymous donor stood up and said, "Hey, I'll pay the difference." That was done. It's done. I think we're going to issue a check to Beck Brothers pretty soon, but thanks to Beck Brothers, because I think they went over and above to get this done. So they did a great job. A couple other things here. Let's see here. The road and bridge has been working hard in Pettus. I keep going back to them because they're everywhere all the time doing work. They've been paving roads in Pettus. We've got one road that needed paving. They've gotten that done. It looks great. It's what, Railway Street? Yeah, Railway. And it looks good. We're going to be coming back to the court for a stop sign on one end. But they've been doing good. I'm getting good comments from the folks in Pettus. So you guys are doing a great job. And for those of you that have been wondering when they're going to mow, they're mowing now, trying to get that grass down. There's some fire hazards out there. I know the county's looking at it, the fire departments are looking at it. We've had rain, like we said, but it was real selective. Something that we need to think about too, we've all seen the coin machines going in B County. They're in almost every community. There's one in Pettus. I think there's one in Skidmore. They're all around now where there are coin vending machines where you go in and you play a game and you might get a QP doll or whatever. Where I'm going with this, years ago the county came up with a $500 per machine fee. And I remember that when we did it, the company that was going to put it in was going to put them in Skidmore. And when the gentleman walked out, they rated that one that night and we never got the $500. And we said we should have gotten the $500 before they walked out the door. Anyway, make a long story short, we collect $500 for each machine. Now that doesn't sound like much money, and I was talking to Mr. Jemison a few days ago, it's over $250,000 already. Over $250,000 per year for these machines that are in B County. Which you can extrapolate backwards and find out how many machines there are, and several of them are totally operating legally, from what we understand. But it's a revenue source that we didn't realize was going to happen. And just FYI, that's all it is. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that there is a lot of money coming in from those machines coming to the county. The rest of the story, it's my understanding, when they come in to pay for their certifications for each ticket, they come in with a backpack full of $5 bills and pay that fee. So it's interesting because then the staff over at the tax office has to count out those $5 bills and put the little scraps on them and that sort of thing. But it's a money maker for B County that we didn't realize was going to happen whenever we passed that $500. What was that, Commissioner?
So there's two more applications have been filed, one in Skidmore and one in Tyne.
Okay, and it's my guess, I'm guessing now, the sheriff's office will have a better handle than I do. There's at least 10 to 15 of them in B County now. So, but over $250,000, and that's yearly. Those have to be renewed every year. And they also have to have state certifications. So, just FYI, that's all it is. Okay, had several people, and there's still some confusion about what is a county road and what is a state highway and what's a farm market road. And I came up with a real simple solution and example. If it's got white or yellow stripes, it's not a county road. Period. That's the way to remember. I know there's been a lot of confusion because I got a call about on 673, which is farm market from Beeville to Pawnee. about the holes in the road, and we needed to fix them, do that. I said, sir, that's not a county. Yes, it is. County, that's county. No, sir, it's not. And I was talking to the gentleman, I said, you know what? Let's just talk about it like this. If it has white or yellow stripes or reflectors, it's not a county road. And he understood it then, and I directed him toward the highway department, and I said, they're supposed to redo 673, they're gonna widen it, and that sort of thing. So with that educational note, sir, I'll pass to my right.
Thank you. I touched on those machines a little bit. I was talking to Sheriff Busby, and you know, they come in, they pay the $500 fee, and they're not supposed to pay out in money, right? So a lot of these machines have been changed from a machine of chance to a machine of skill. Sheriff Busby was talking about these machines that are coming in now. When the wheel rolls, you actually stop each wheel trying to get it to line up to pay out whatever. So that's how they're trying to come around it. He was talking about in Beeville County was they found these machines of skill instead of chance. So interesting about that. There was a lady that used to work one of those game rooms here in town. It was a 24-hour game room, and she said in 3 8-hour shifts, there was over $20,000 that exchanged hands. That was crazy amount of money. But anyway, I talked to Beck Brothers, the other AC had been put in at the expo, and told them they could go ahead and put the wall up. And Mr. Beck told me that their foreman was out ill last week, so they should get on that this week. So that should be done and then finished up. So also had a call. Excuse me. Had a call about an elderly couple on West Mom, needed some assistance with some things. Went over there, took care of the situation. Turned out there was a situation down the street from them, also needed some help, got that taken care of as well. Attended our monthly Chamber of Commerce board meeting, and also attended the Chamber mixer at Blue Ribbon Feed Store. Jonathan, thank you guys, Road and Bridge, for their boom axing on Petrus Lane, then going back out the next day and cleaning up that road. The lady calling back, she was super pleased. She was pleased with the boom axing, and then she was even more pleased with the cleaning of the road. There was a lot of debris on it. So thanks for taking care of that, man. Also, this past Saturday, helped with the Rialto cleanup. If you guys haven't been out to the Rialto, you need to go by there and take a look at it. They're making all kinds of progress on renovations while still keeping the historical integrity of the building in place. So it's a big deal. They've done a lot out there. I want to thank Ray Munoz and Joseph Chavarria. We got a 300-gallon water container set out at San Pedro Cemetery for people to come out and use the water. There's no water well out there, and they got trees and plants and flowers and all kinds of stuff. So this will allow people to water all that stuff. We should have another one coming out this week. So we'll have 2 300-gallon containers sitting out there for people to use. We do have some signs coming in English and Spanish that it's non-potable water. So that should all be put out this next week. And then there's a big white cross that Mr. Chavarria and Mr. Gaitan built in the 60s. And it is finally deteriorated and needs to be replaced. So I built a new one, and we should be putting that up, installing that this next week, or this week rather, hopefully. The Veterans Memorial Park, also known as the 200-acre park, got with Sandra Musca. She is a Veterans Affairs Officer. There are some flags out there that need to be replaced, so we're looking at trying to get those flags replaced. I'm not sure which branches they are yet, but she's going to get with me, and then we'll look at trying to get those all replaced. Also cleaned up some blind spots in Blueberry Hill at stop signs. There was some couple of bad spots, and it wasn't, you guys do a lot, so it wasn't nothing to go out there and clean that up and take care of that, so you didn't have to. Also, A reminder, 4-H is having their poinsettia fundraiser. If you'd like some poinsettias, they're $15. They come wrapped in a 6-inch pot, and the dates are to order are between August the 1st and October the 6th, and they'll be delivered December the 3rd. And if you need more information, you can call the B County Extension Office at 361-621-1552, and all the money that's raised from selling these poinsettias all go back to the kids of B County, whether it's helping them with camps, contests, different fees that the kids have to pay for what they do and stuff like that. That money goes back to support all the kids. So with that, I will pass it to the judge.
Thank you, Commissioners. Y'all are all very busy. These are great reports. Thank you. Moving on, agenda item number 6, public comment. Are there any members of the public who wish to address the Commissioners Court? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 7. The following items are of an administrative nature. Commissioners Court has been furnished documentation on each item, and all such items may be acted upon by one vote without being discussed separately, unless requested by a commissioner or county judge.
Move to approve. Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have my financials, my July financials as a part of agenda item number 7.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'd like to point out on page number 5 of my report that our fines and forfeitures and charges for services are both up. And the past few years they've been down. So I went back to last year for the fines and forfeitures especially, and we were down 24,000, and now we are up 37,000 from last year. So I just want to say that that's a great thing, because we've been really down, really since COVID, since 2020, 2021. Both of those line items have seen a decrease, and now we're seeing them increased. So I just wanted to mention that.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Discuss and consider action on the following items. Agenda item number 8, approve fund request in the amount of $750,000 from Christus Spawn Hospital Beeville for hospital improvements out of Fund 23, B County Healthcare Fund 1.
Move to approve, sir.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'll just say,
Budgeted.
well, we had a marker in our budget last year for $750,000, and we met with the hospital last week, and this project that they're doing is going to be rebuilding a crumbling floor and other support structures in their it's a metal building. It's a very complicated metal building outside of the hospital that manages it's their control plant. I was struggling to find the word. So basically they're going to, they've got a floor that is above a subfloor, and the concrete on that floor is failing. So they're going to have to construct a scaffolding to protect the piping that is in the subfloor, and then they're going to tear out that floor. They're going to move boilers that are on that floor, and then tear out that floor, and then replace that floor, and then remove the scaffolding. All the while, they're going to conduct this project without any loss of capacity, services, or abilities of the hospital. The total project cost is in excess of $1.7 million. And again, like I think we all said in varying ways a few meetings ago when they came and presented this project to us, we are very grateful for Christus Spawn's focus and attention to the physical facility that is here in B County. We look forward to seeing a swift conclusion to this project, and we're happy to support it. Our Healthcare Fund 1 is designed as the main recipient of rent that Christus Spawn pays for the hospital building, which is owned by the county. And we set that money aside per our agreement for the specific purpose of maintenance and upkeep to the hospital facility as it is. So these monies are being used precisely for the reason that they were designed to be collected and saved for. And this is a really good, albeit not very exciting or sexy project, but a substantively incredibly important project on the continuing ability of the local Beeville Hospital to operate. So on behalf of everybody at Commissioners Court and Peake County, we thank Krista Spahn for their continued dedication, support, and efforts within our county, and we look forward to many more great years of service with them.
Could I add something to that?
Absolutely.
To emphasize what the judge said, that money is being paid as rent. No taxpayer dollars are involved in this, which is a really good thing. Someone had the foresight years ago when they set this up to set it up this way. And everybody wins. And it's one of those situations where everybody comes out ahead. And that's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
Somebody was thinking way ahead.
Thank you. Anything further? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 9, approve updated Commissioners Court regular term meeting schedule for fiscal year 2025-2026. I'll apologize, this is housekeeping. We've made one correction. The date was wrong, totally my fault. I'll take the blame. Y'all are welcome. I'll open the floor to any vitriol that you wish to spit my way. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. I'm going to call the next agenda item in just one moment. If everybody would please be patient with me. Agenda item number 10, discussion regarding renovations to the old jail located at 1511 East Toledo Street in Beeville to bring it back into usable condition for county purposes. In just a moment, I'm going to turn the floor over to Commissioner Olivares, but as an introduction to this and to kind of set the stage for it, several years ago now, the county embarked on building a brand new sheriff's office and jail. That's been operational, going on now 5 years, I believe, or 6 years, and it's a great facility. We're very happy to have it. At the time that the county decided to build the new jail, the decision was made to, and funds were actually allocated to tear down what I call the new old jail, which is the prior jail to the new jail. For very valid purposes, those monies were reallocated during the construction project, and so that building stayed in existence where it is today. Several years ago, thinking that we were getting close to either having a suitor who would be willing to acquire that property and develop it into a nursing home, and myriad other potential opportunities. We went through the April's office, I shouldn't say we, because I can't take credit for it, went through the laborious process of auctioning off as much of the contents of the jail as possible, and most of that were jail contents, so think of stainless steel toilets and sinks and stuff like that. Every year that building sits, costs the county money for insurance coverage in the amount of $30,000. Now, those of you that are intimately familiar with Peake County as an entity and our available space know that we are basically full. We have very little, if any, free offices or free bullpen space for our existing departments, and so thinking short-term, there's short-term solutions to this proposal. There's also long-term solutions to this proposal. I'll start with the long-term solution. Long-term solution that this proposal provides is it gives the county additional breathing room with respect to additional office space for future growth in the county. Since I've been on Commissioners Court, and I'm not the longest-serving member on Commissioners Court, but since I've been on, many of our departments have increased in their labor force. and we've added a couple departments, I guess one officially and one semi-unofficially. Sounds salacious, but it's not. The 36th Judicial District Judge is officing primarily here in B County with our court coordinator and our court reporter, and have been for the last several years. And then we created the Multi-County Court of Law. So we are busting at the seams, and we have an existing building. The existing building is in a condition that I was curious whether or not we could get it back up and running. And if we could, what would that potential cost be? Because if a county like B County that doesn't have a lot of available free, undedicated funds from one budget year to the next, if a cost on renovating this new old jail exceeds what this commissioner's court believes may be a reasonable number, then it doesn't make sense economically and fiscally. It just doesn't make sense. But we've never really gone through the process, at least since I've been on the court, of figuring out what would it take to actually get the old sheriff's office back up and running. When I went and toured the old sheriff's office jail and offices, I noticed a couple things. First of all, there is a barrier wall with one entry between the sheriff's office and the jail. This is the old building. I'm not talking about the new building now. But otherwise, the two portions of the building, being the sheriff's office up front and the jail in back, are separated by a cinder block wall, floor to ceiling, except for the central pass-through point, which was at the old receptionist desk in the sheriff's office. So we do have the ability to create a envelope and separating from an HVAC standpoint the front and the back of the two buildings. The jail part is actually, in my opinion, a excellent potential storage facility. It feels like a storage room back there. The aisles are relatively wide enough for carts to go down, and of course we still have. And I was confused. I thought we sold all the doors. Yeah, all the steel doors, but we didn't. They're all still there. So the potential for actually having a controlled environment, open, organized, clean, and very expansive storage facility, ultimately where we could climate control it and be able to store long-term documents that most of our departments have to retain for various purposes, is a real solution and a real possibility. The front offices are certainly, from B County standards, are relatively substantial. Just 6 short years ago, our entire sheriff's department was located in those offices, and the condition is not as bad as I had first thought. So, short term, the reason this all came up, in all fairness, was there were one or more new laws passed by the Texas legislature which go into effect in short time with respect to the obligation of elections administrators statewide in conducting elections, as well as changes to how your early voting and day of voting elections are going to operate, which create logistical issues which give our election administrator, who's wonderful and does a great job, gave her a lot of concerns and fears. And so she said, "Oh, Judge, there's got to be some place, there's got to be something that we can do." And she suggested that I look at the new old jail again. So short-term solution, I would personally keep that in mind, that this is a facility that the Elections Administration Office could immediately move into, utilize. It has great parking, it has great access. It just needs to be operable. Freeing up the building that the Elections Administration Office is in right now, which is kind of an odd, narrow building, could provide potential conveniences and additional freedom of movement and of security to the 36th Judicial District Court Judge, as well as her staff, which we built 2 offices out of our auditor's office space, and compressing her department, increasing the amount of folks that are operating in what we were just talking about at the opening comments is the bullpen. And we could potentially then be able to give her back that space so that she can redeploy it to use it to provide more accommodations for her staff. Every year, especially as we continue to as we continue to develop our sophistication in seeking and obtaining meaningful grants, state and federal grants to deploy for the benefit of our county, her needs continue to rise. So we have an instant solution there. We also have one of our current commissioners' offices who Commissioner Lenny has graciously over the course of the last 18 months provided to Judge Bauer's court coordinator as an office. If we move Judge Bauer and her staff into this new building, then we free up that Commissioner's Court office. As everybody here is aware, I'm sure, the county has a statutory obligation to provide offices to its county commissioners, and that would resolve that. Nobody's complaining about it, certainly not Commissioner Lenny. Thank you again for your largesse.
That's what the Dairy Queen is for.
There you go. Okay, well, we don't want to, now they're going to claim a tax-free benefit, Commissioner Lenny. So anyway, there are short-term benefits to this proposal. There are long-term benefits that I find hard to ignore. But the bottom line is, what's it going to cost? And if it's at X number, then maybe it makes sense to do it. If it's at a number that is above that to some degree, then the answer is clearly going to be no. So the new old jail is in Commissioner Olivares' precinct. He graciously agreed to act as point and run down estimated costs on renovations to bring the front office of the sheriff's, the new old jail and sheriff's office back up and running so that we can actually utilize it. And remember, even if we decide as a commissioner's court today at this time not to proceed with this plan, which is fine, if we do, we will still be paying about $30,000 a year to cover that building on insurance costs. So the building sitting idle is something of a meaningful expense that the county has. The question becomes, what would we be willing to pay to get it back online so that we can actually utilize what we're already spending money on? With that, I'm just going to turn the floor over to Commissioner Olivares. I did forewarn him that I was going to, so I sure hope he's prepared. Commissioner, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, thank you. I am a little bit prepared, but thank you for your insight, and thank you for the justification and reasoning on why we would like to repurpose this old jail, and all which are very good moves in my opinion. I think it's an excellent opportunity here for the county to provide some growth, especially in the areas we're moving, as the judge articulated, in the areas of our legal group, our auditing group, and growth here within the county, which is excellent. So anyhow, I was tasked with identifying how and the cost for redeploying it. It did take a little bit longer time than what I thought. Coordinating this effort here with the contractors was a bit challenging, but thanks to our maintenance director here, John Zagiddy, assisted me in many ways on getting these details estimates. We finally got the numbers. We did some walkthroughs, and the good thing for us, apparently, these numbers or this scenario was done prior to me coming into office, where they had already looked into the possibility of repurposing it It was opted not to go that route, and so then it was not mentioned anymore. Now, the numbers we got back, we reached out to Stella Plumbing to see what it would take to get the plumbing. And this wasn't included in the agenda. I believe everyone has a copy in front of them so that you can see the numbers. What is included in the agenda package is a quote from Stella Plumbing, JL Construction, and Smeckle for the air conditioning, refrigeration, and also electrical upgrades. Now, when you add all these numbers, we're coming up roughly around 400,000 and some change to do these renovations, which I feel is a little bit better than what I thought it was going to come out to be because of the existing facilities. So that's kind of where we are, right around 400,000. And of course, as everyone knows, whenever you get into these renovations, there's always these unknowns. I've walked through the building several times, myself and John, and we feel it could be doable. But keep in mind, when you look at the bigger scope of work that the judge was mentioning to us, the ultimate goals, the long-term use of this facilities, the ability to expand our auditor's office, the ability to have housing for our district attorney's office is enormous. And those are some areas I think that we could really look into. Storage is another big, and then it can just continue to grow. From what I saw and from what I understand based on information I got, the building is structurally sound. We did have some issues on the back part from the jailers. I have unfortunately not been able to find all the detailed records. This is all hearsay. I would like to get my hands on it to read it. As most people know, I like reading contracts and stuff, but I haven't been able to find it. So if I'm wrong, please correct me, but that's from what I understand. So now, based on the information I have, based on the cost, based on the current justification, I feel this is a viable project for the county to take on to move forward.
A couple of considerations.
Absolutely, Commissioner. You have the floor, sir.
We need to remember some numbers. We set aside $300,000 several years ago to tear it down. So keep that number in the back of your mind. And if we didn't do something like this, eventually we are going to have to demolish that facility.
Do we still have that 300,000?
No, that we had a, let's call it an emergency situation come up. We had to use that somewhere else. That's why it never was done. The asbestos survey has already been done. And to jump on what the judge said about the $30,000 a year on insurance, that's forever. And in 10 years, we're another $300,000, and it's going to go up. So I'm real pleased with the amount you came up with. I thought it was going to be quite a bit more too. And that's turnkeying it and moving into it, and we're ready to go. And we've got a great parking lot. It's in a good location. Those are my comments.
Thank you,
I'd like to add to that. So thanks to Commissioner DeWitt. He did point out some additional buildings that are locally around our county, such as banks and other facilities. So I did reach out and did a little bit of homework. I mean, so one that he mentioned to me was a bank which has roughly around 1,800 square feet, which I don't believe is big enough. But anyhow, the cost for that, again, everything's negotiable. We can get it worked down. Is roughly around $600,000. My printer messed up this morning, so wasn't able to get everybody a copy, but just so you can see that some homework.
I'm familiar with that cost. It's been that, got a decade.
So it's been a while.
I think it's been on.
So even though these, great idea, thanks for mentioning it to me, I really appreciate that. But when you look at this and you look at our ultimate long-term goals, it may not be the best fit.
Because if you did do that, you're still paying the $30,000.
That's correct.
So
That's correct.
We're kind of we're in a tough spot.
And eventually you're gonna have to tear it down anyway, and that's gonna cost.
Yes, sir.
Because we dangled it out there. We put the bait in the water with different people. We had the transportation people look at it. They were all excited at first and decided to go a different way. I think we've exhausted our alternatives, if you will. The only question is gonna come up, where we're gonna get the money.
Right. So this is this is where it gets a little sticky, and so I'm going to turn it. I'm just kidding. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Cantu. No. So we currently have about 6.7 months in our reserve fund.
Yes.
About 6.7 months. Safe harbor. I guess that auditor's goal is to, minimum is about 3 months. My recommendation, because of this project and the ability to go ahead and try to move on it now, is to take, and this is my recommendation, to take $500,000 out of our reserve fund and place it in a separate line item for purposes of these renovations. Because there will be, I'm certain, there will be some additional things that we have to look at and work on. I think $500,000 is a reasonable number. In my mind, when I first started even considering this, I thought that was basically our expense exposure that I would feel personally comfortable with. And I'm just glad that the estimates kind of came in underneath that, because if it was more than 500,000, it would be a very difficult decision for me personally. But that's my recommendation. Is $500,000.
Just a question, okay, let's say, okay, we're gonna do it. At that amount, do we have to have a general contractor, or can we supervise this? Can we employ the plumber, can we employ the electrician and do it our own, or do we have to go outside?
With the amounts, with what we're looking at in these bids, we're gonna be well within our, our bidding out process. JL Squared is a cooperative vendor, and that's the portion that's over 100,000. Later on in the agenda, we're gonna talk about some updates on my procurement policy, which September 1 goes up because of SB 1173 goes up to $100,000 from a formal bid out from the 50,000 we were under previously. Again, Stellar and Smeckle Smeckle has two. So Commissioner, these two for Smeckle, they're both of these, right?
There's several. One's for electrical and one's for AC, HVAC.
So this could potentially run into a formal bid process, because this is the same vendor, and this is in the $180,000 realm. So this vendor would probably have to be bid out.
But as
If
far
we
as
could separate
requiring electrical, because this is, let me reframe it, or frame it, because what we're talking about doing is merely renovating an existing
You don't have to
building.
have a general contractor.
Yeah, we don't, I think that was the
Like
question.
an
We don't-
engineer.
Our
There's
general
no,
contractor is Keno Oliveris and Johnny Zagari. They will be-
congratulations, John.
They will be deeply
It
involved.
does not come with the pay raise.
We don't
Can
have
you
any
count?
requirements
Add it to your resume.
for a formal
Be good, you
engineer.
Commissioner DeWitt will get you a new
New
cap.
cap.
But, okay, yeah, so no requirement that we
No requirement for a formal
overcomplicate
engineer.
this. Wonderful.
Good.
Commissioner Fudgens.
You mentioned at the very beginning, there's a timeline on this. What's the timeline?
Oh, there's no timeline. I'm sorry, I didn't
Well,
mean
you
that.
said the elections administrator was coming up to a
Right,
timeline.
but no, in beginning September 1, the laws regarding how elections are conducted in the state of Texas is going to change dramatically. But I don't think it's reasonable or realistic that we shoot for making these, completing this, again, I want to try to stay away from calling it like a project, these renovations by November of this year, because November of this year is a constitutional election. And so it's a pretty good soft opening for the new laws that the elections administrator is going to carry. As soon as we can get this done, I think the county benefits because, and I would think that we'd be able to get this done within the next 10 to 12 months, which puts the elections administration office there in time for next November's election, which should be, and I hope for all of our viewers watching today, if you're B County residents, please participate actively in the voting process. Should be a big turnout. So hopefully within 10 to 12 months we can get this done. But there's I apologize, I didn't intend to create some great sense of urgency because I don't.
So if it's not completed, she'll have to work out another bill.
Correct.
The thing that I see too is that moving over there, no big deal. But it's gonna be better if we had more than one office located in that building for safety and security for the staff that's working there, and not just the election.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much space that it's not really justifiable that the elections administrator swallows that entire space. I really do. I think we need to be judicious with it. Yes, sir.
Great point. We did talk to Ms. Warnix, and we did get a needs assessment as far as what she was looking at needing, and we took that into consideration.
Great points. Anything else?
I would like to make a motion. Thanks everyone for the comments and the invitation brought to the plate. But I'd like to make a motion to approve the repurposing of the jail. Not to exceed the $500,000.
To be pulled from.
To be pulled from the surplus reserve fund.
And I'll second that. One thing we're gonna have to remember too, this is a real big project for these contractors and local contractors. And we need to keep their timeline in our back of our mind. They may not be able to spend full time out there doing this. And have to work in between their other jobs, because it's not like they don't have anything else to do too. And this is a pretty big one. And I know they'll jump right on it, and I feel very good about being able to give this work to our local businesses. I really do.
Yeah, great point. That's one of the challenges of just getting these cost estimates for these contractors. It's extremely busy. So we would need to sit down, of course, we'll set this up as a program where, sit down with them basically and get an understanding of what they're able to fulfill the requirements of our needs.
Because from what we've seen, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, the contractors we have in Beeville are excellent. They do excellent work. They've been right there for us every time we need them. And we need to, and people watching, we need to appreciate our local people. And they do a great job. They really do. And they're very reasonable.
And I think we'll have this structure in place to ensure that milestones are developed and met, to keep the project moving forward. I think that's a key thing in the project. You're right, Commissioner. You need to have some sort of a timeline. You just can't have one open window, otherwise it's going to get.
And Commissioner, how soon do we want to start this? Do we need to get the money transferred first, or do the contractors to begin?
Great question. So now that, better understand the process, we probably have to go out and rebid some of these numbers, get some better numbers. These are order of magnitude. And kind of let's say, give us your best shot, give us what do you think it's gonna cost, add some additional dollars because there could be some unexpected, that's what these numbers include. But now we have an opportunity to go back and find some of these costs. It could actually be less once we narrow down this information. So that's the kind of the process I see moving forward. Hopefully I could borrow someone from the auditor's team that's going to assist in the grant, not grant writing, but assist with the bidding process to ensure that we're meeting all the requirements.
So from what I'm hearing, possibly within 30 days, we might be able to, if you would, break ground.
Maybe so, yeah.
Awesome.
If you run into something that you couldn't see, and then you see,
Well, then we'll come back and use order.
Yeah.
Once we start, we're going all the way. One thing I would recommend too, and this is probably going to fall to the maintenance of road and bridge, we need to clean up around that building, the vegetation, the trees, and all that, get that out of there quickly.
Thank you guys, we really appreciate the discussion. I'm a little nervous about it, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I think it's the right move for the county to make, and I think it's going to benefit us in the long term. So I think it's a good expenditure.
Well, if you take the infrastructure that's there, the concrete, the steel, the glass, there's $1 million facility sitting there, if you would. That could be torn down or it could be repurposed. We're gonna repurpose $1 million facility. It's got a fantastic parking lot, it's got lights everywhere, it's got a side port that can be utilized by the elections to go out in the weather, and go back and forth with the people, so I think it's the right thing to do.
There's some benefits, and I too, like judges, these unknowns we don't know. I mean, that's with any project, no matter how well it's engineered. If you look at the EOC, we had an engineer and inspectors on staff, and things got, it's little simple things like putting the wrong kind of AC in the South Texas environment. So I missed it. I'll carry the burden there, and I'll review the drawings, and I missed it. Well, it was in the fine print.
The beautiful part is, those are our unknowns, not somebody else's environment.
Very true.
Or let the road service. Hold that. That's what it
So in our budget, we have a sum two that kind of helps us forecast, and we have about $1.1 million that we spend monthly. And so we're going to 6.7 months of reserve we have right now. We'll be holding that. That's what it was.
So I go down to still over 6 months. 6.2 is a good question.
And also, based on the numbers I did, kind of at a high level, our tax base was going up a little bit more this month based on the numbers that I saw. Correct?
Yes.
If you go backwards, building the actuary backwards, it's been pretty consistent, except for all the buildings we did this year.
I feel like it's been consistent. We've been consistently been up in our fund balance. I see that this year we have spent a lot of money moving into our salary lines and our benefits lines to help some expenditures move forward. We totally do that, and so that's a lot of what goes back into our fund balance at year end. But we're in a really good position right
For all
now.
kinds of good money here and there.
Right, and we need to continue to do that. We have to continue the business towards, but spending money, like this, on our buildings and on our, future growth is, I was surprised at how much money that is.
Something else to consider, we've got more infrastructure coming in the county, we've got a major solar farm going in that time. It'll be on the tax rolls next year, so those things all help, and we've got one hour minimum. Those have really helped our tax base, they really have.
And again, mentioning our fines and forfeitures and our insurance for services, our tax office is over in collections $300,000 this year. Wow,
Good job.
is right.
Chief, we gotta put them stairs to work, chief.
Yes, and that's where that's coming from, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, Sheriff and Chief, because, that's where I see it. That's where I'm seeing it, and we've talked about before y'all came in, about the decrease that we've seen, and I know I talked to the judge about it the past few years. But I was really excited to see the increase because I had, so we're really seeing the hard work that you all are putting in, so I appreciate it.
Something that doesn't show up too, they're housing quite a few prisoners from other counties, and that's income coming.
Now that revenue stream, I have not seen it increase, so I know that y'all are working on that, so I would like to see this increase, of course, that's now being increased.
That's a precinct four. What? Okay, what? I see you put all that thing in there.
All right. Is anything further on this agenda item number 10?
We gotta put it
Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. If there's not, we have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
here. Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for that. Agenda. Oh, what time is the public hearing? Okay, at this point in time, I'm going to skip down to agenda item number 14. Public hearing pursuant to Texas Transportation Code Chapter 253 entitled County Improvement of Subdivision Roads, Ordinance 2003, to consider reduction in speed limit and replacement of 30 mile per hour MPH speed limit signs with 25 mile per hour MPH speed limit signs on White Lane in Beeville, Texas. The time is 10:05 a.m. and subpart A, open public hearing, 10 a.m. I'm opening the public hearing. Are there any members of the public who wish to address Commissioners Court? One last time, are there any members of the public wishing to address Commissioners Court with respect to agenda item number 14? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes without exception. Do we need to take any action at this time?
Yes, sir. Judge, I'd like to make a motion that we immediately change the speed limit sign from 30 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour on White Lane and utilize the new sign for the red border.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion in a couple seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes, sir.
Good job on getting this up.
Thank you all.
And, going back to agenda item number 11, approved submission of application to the Texas Indigent Defense Commission for the Indigent Defense Improvement Grant Program fiscal year 2026-2027 supplemental request for applications, temporary or one-time assistance for existing indigent defense program serving rural Texas. My goodness, Mrs. Strada, that is quite an agenda item. It is largely housekeeping. I'd entertain a motion to approve. I've got a motion and a second. As discussion, I'll let you know, and I'd like to extend our appreciation from B County, from Live Oak County, McMullen County. Thank you. Edwin Colfax, who's long been a friend to the county, reached out to me about 3 weeks ago and said, "Hey, there's some additional state money available, and we'd like you to consider seeking a grant of a portion of that state money to reduce our costs, the county, the shared costs between the three counties, our cost for our indigent defense program on an annual basis for 2 years of how much was it each year? Yeah, $90,000 and $95,000. A substantial potential windfall to us. So I'd like to thank Mr. Colfax for bringing this to our attention, and so that's what we're doing. We're going to see if we can further reduce the burden that our three counties share to provide quality indigent defense to our citizens in those charged with crimes in Lee County. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 12, approve and accept into record fiscal year 2025 formula grant statement of grant award from the Texas Indigent Defense Commission. Got a motion, do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I think the amount, Judge, is $28,293.
I believe you because you're reading it.
I've got it written down.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 13, approve installation of water well at the Expo grounds for the Emergency Operations Center. Commissioner Lenny, this is your agenda item. You have the floor, sir.
Commissioner, I gave you guys a copy of Carter Water Well, and there's not a lot of, you were right, there's not a lot of companies that drill open water wells. Lawson, Carter, and then after that, reached out to Public, never really dropped an estimate for me, never got that, never did it. After that, you got Florida, Robstown, you start getting further out, so, I asked them to draw up an estimate on a 4.5 inch casing and a 4 inch just to see the difference. I just like to use 4.5, especially the pump size, if it stops, it burns up, it pierces the wall, and you have to go ahead and knock it out, knock it down. So what you have in front of you is an estimate from Carter Well. They are out of Woodsboro and out of and Lawson out of here at Beeville. For a 4.5 inch casing, you have $12,011 Carter and $15,562.30 from Lawson. And looking at the depth, 245 foot with Carter, 250. And they look pretty comparable, you know, side by side as far as the depth, the size pump. And I asked them if this would be, you know, turnkey as far as the drilling, the casing, the motor, the pressure tank, pressure switch, electrical, whole turnkey unit. So that's what we have in front of us.
What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is to go with Carter. That's a, you know, you're looking at $3,500 difference. And 4.5 inch.
I agree with that totally. I've seen where they've had that problem.
Well,
And they can't get it out.
And the thing about it, I've explained to them, was this is not something that we're going to use on a daily basis. It's just the fact that the EFC is tied into city water. The city water does go down, and this will kick on and supply water to the EFC. So,
One thing I would add, in all seriousness, on the pipe coming up, to the tech valve in it, I know there's one in the motor, but what happens when those go out and you start sending? Oh, it's about $45 already done, it's well worth the money. Are we still compensating?
Yes, sir. We don't even have a motion.
I think they, we need to look and say.
That'd be
Do
great.
it properly.
I move that we use Carter water well out of Woodsboro to drill the water well at the EOC building for an amount of $12,011.
I'll second that, and that's your comment.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Commissioner DeWitt, you have the floor, sir.
I would recommend adding that check valve. And then I would also recommend that we go further than that and they have to come back to the court to do it. And go ahead while we're doing all this and get hold of the electrical company and the plumbing and get all that done. Because you're probably going to have an air gap to hook it up to the EOC building so they can't say we're contaminating public water by hooking up. So I would recommend we do that all right away because the hurricane could come in 2 weeks.
Right.
Can we do that at this time, Judge? Or not?
I don't know that it would have to, what's that?
Till we see how monies and those are our budget.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Can you make part of the motion then to authorize to go ahead and turnkey the whole thing, hook it up to the building, electricity, the air gap, the plumber, everything?
in an amount not to exceed.
That's probably gonna cost another $15,000 roughly, not to exceed 15. We've got plenty of money, we want to put it back in the pot. But that's your motion, sir.
Does Carter have the ability to turnkey it?
Yes. So I will revise my motion to reflect add the check valve and the electrical to the building,
Air gap.
Air gap.
Whatever.
everything not to exceed $15,000.
On top of the other two. And that would comply with TCEQ regulations in the city, so it won't be contaminated public water supply. And it's hooked up and ready to go.
That is my motion.
Got a location picked out with the well.
Yes, we want to do it next to the EOC building, take into consideration where the septic and all that line.
I'll revise my second to reflect what the gentleman just said.
So we have a motion and a second to award this well drilling project, Carter Well Drilling LLC, at the current quote of $12,011. We've also authorized up to an additional $15,000 to fully integrate the well into the existing EOC structure should the need arise. I recycle those motion and second, correct?
I think so.
Thank you. Got a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you, Jill. Yeah, good job. Agenda item number 15, approve multiple use agreement between the B County Sheriff's Office and the Texas Department of Transportation for a license plate reader trailer. This came before us a couple weeks ago, and we approved, what did we approve then? It was precatory, what was it? It was a resolution. Now we've got the actual agreement.
Move to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Love seeing those fines and fees go up, gentlemen.
If I could, I was in San Antonio yesterday, going down the city street, and they are now integrating the speed limit that you're traveling just below the sign with the solar system. I hadn't seen that before. In other words, let's say the speed limit is 25. Below that is a computer readout that says you're traveling at so-and-so. It's something brand new. It's kind of awesome. I don't know what they call it.
We have two of those, Commissioner.
We have two of them?
Fixing to deploy one with Commissioner Oliveris and Steve.
But this is a permanent.
No, they're mobile trailers.
Oh, yeah. those
Were you
are-
exiting off the 281?
Yes, yes,
Very familiar.
yeah. This is
Yours is
Any further discussion or confessions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 16, approve Texas Department of Motor Vehicles imposition of optional fees calendar year 2026. I put this on the agenda. We've spoken with the tax assessor collector. There's no recommendation from Ms. Mattis to make any changes to how we currently operate. So I don't believe we need to have a motion on this item unless Commissioner Stork would like to discuss raising those fees. Oh, I just let me just blow right through it. Please come on down.
Should I go?
Yo, yes, ma'am. We're expecting at least 10 minutes. Do you have a PowerPoint presentation?
No,
have
I
a
do
video
not.
or-
I actually have a printout. I'm not sure if this letter was provided.
Back up. I thought I
I
saw
think
it.
it was, yeah. Like Ms. Mattis said, there's no, we shouldn't have to increase the fees or anything like that. We already collected $10 for the county road and bridge. We don't collect the child safety fee, but that's not to exceed $1.50. And then the transportation project fees only for specific counties.
The other thing I appreciate is we're not going to pay additional fees on the public.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
They've got enough already, so let's don't put any more.
Yes,
Here,
sir.
here.
We don't have to.
Yes, sir.
Would anyone like to restate that same thing a few more times?
I think
Thank
it's
you,
a good
ma'am.
thing that we don't put additional fees on the public.
I agree. That's a well said, Commissioner DeWitt. Okay, so I'm not asking for any action. Is there any action anyone would like to take on Commissioner's Court? I don't think we need to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a deadline by which we had to do it, and I forced it on the agenda and then talked to Ms. Mattis. Again, you just blame me.
Yeah,
So
because
we'll-
we're not putting any additional fees on the public. That's something we don't do. Is that correct?
That's the one thing we don't want to
That's
do,
correct.
and we're succeeding in that regard
We are.
here.
We've
Yeah,
done it
there's
here.
no additional fees, and the public is going to have to pay at least a fee count
That is correct.
on this limited component of the DMV and our tax assessor collector. So good job, everybody. Thank you. Thank you to our tax assessor collector for your presentation this morning. There's no action that I hear of, so we're going to pass on agenda item number 16. Agenda item number 17, approve Justice of the Peace Precinct 4's request to use the county credit card to pay for hotel and registration fees for the annual South Texas Justice of the Peace and Gospels Association Conference on November 11th and 14th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I want to say that this is for the ILA grant. All this money
Well, it does not sound very nice. I mean, is it on the barrier island facing the water?
Zach says.
They have electricity and everything.
Well, I appreciate our Justice of the Peace Precinct for biting the bullet, going to a place that is a beautiful, fun, sunny, relaxing, to get to do this necessary conference. So thank you for her sacrifice. Let's hope no. Let's hope there's nothing, and it's a wonderful trip, and she learns a lot. Appreciate that. I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 18, approve amendments to the Auditor's Office procurement procedures. Madam Auditor.
So I have updated my office procedures pretty substantially. If you go through them, you'll see my highlight of what was added. I added a little bit in the beginning section, explaining a little bit of our centralized purchasing initiative, which will start October 1. This is a project in progress, and so this is just the initial getting our feet wet. And Francis had given me a big policy and a template, and I cut it all down, and I said, no, we're just gonna put in a little bit right now, and that's
Every
on page
department head
7.
and elected official appreciates that.
I know.
Thank you on their behalf.
Yes, we did not want to go overboard, and we just set down some goals, our mission, and what we're trying to accomplish with this initiative, and then gave a little bit of guidelines of the items, all the supplies we're talking about. So we did add that in there. I'd like to take a look at that. I also added in that I announced earlier, the SB 1173, which increases our buying power to 100,000, 50,000 to go out for bids. And so that is in here as well. That update starts on page 3, and that's with our purchasing categories, which just raised all of the limits from the under 50 to 100. And then the last one, I added an appendix B in the very last portion of my policy to include our cooperative memberships. I thought, me and Francis thought that this would be beneficial to our departments to know which memberships we have to help out with our purchasing. And there's also a little change I do want to make on Appendix A, which is the page in front of it, which has our local vendors. And of course, I've increased that threshold that was at 40,000. I have it at 75, but I'd like to change that to 85 if the court agrees with that. And then also adding Beck Brothers in there, which was a suggestion.
Did you say 85?
85, yes, so please increase that 75 to 85. Good, and we'll add Beck Brothers onto the bottom of that Appendix A list.
Okay, prior to any motion being made, is there a discussion? I'm going to frame the motion and then ask for somebody to make a motion. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the amendments to the Auditor's Office procurement procedures as presented, subject to the following 3 revisions. Appendix A, changing the dollar value of $75,000 up to $85,000 and adding into the approved vendor list on Appendix A, Beck Brothers, Inc. Got a motion and a second. Further discussion? Okay.
Okay, yeah, so mainly just a thank you to some notable comments. So great document, definitely moving in the right direction, so this is very good. A couple of questions on page 4. I noticed that we have moved tax, so they no longer required or we don't need that.
That was old language, and so I have a local government code that I'm able to quote, and so that's why I replaced that old language. Of course, the tax is behind all of our, all of our.
That's what I thought, this wasn't sure. Okay. And then, who are our purchasing personnel? I think I know who they are, but this.
Well, there's going to be there's some shift in the file, so, I don't have any names
All right.
in here, we have positions because.
To be
To
determined.
be.
To be determined.
But it's like, data center.
Got it.
They might have a different chair.
Exactly.
Okay, not a problem, just curious. And then, on page number 9, I noticed we had some blanket orders. I was just curious how many blanket orders we had in place.
So, the majority of our blanket purchase orders are, used by our sheriff's office, our maintenance department, and our road and bridge departments. Those are our larger departments that require, a blanket arrangement, just because they use
See the immediate call out. Okay.
and use the same vendors regularly, especially with their vehicle maintenance, their building maintenance. Those are repetitive expenditures, and it's just helped with having to do a piece of paper every single time that they need a bolt or, screw or.
10 to 12 blankets.
No, I would say 50. I mean, you want each department?
Or
in
we can
total?
get that later. I'm just kind of
Okay.
curious
I
about
would
just
say
beginner
it's
order
about
magnitude numbers.
50, yeah, probably about 50. 50 to 75, yeah.
And that's between those three departments.
Okay. So I'm aware of that. And
And
then,
while you're talking about that, Commissioner, this fiscal year, Francis has also worked on those blankets and tightening up the numbers that the departments bring with those blanket purchase orders so that we can focus on what they're really spending. And so that's what she was able to send to
That's
those
great.
departments. So
That's
let
great,
them know
because-
this is what you're actually spending and what we need to tighten.
so there's definitely dollars that probably could save, that could go back.
Oh, for sure, yes, and that's what my office is doing.
Okay, page 15. And this is just education. Traeger Fire Solutions, are they still here? Are they
Yeah,
still-
that's their own.
You can issue them.
Okay. And then, since we're on page 15, just one note, thanks for Ms. Frances Melvin's education here on co-ops and co-ops, buy boards, and tips. So one thing I noticed, and had she not educated me, I probably wouldn't have a question on this, but since she did, I now need to throw it out there. Choice Partners, Goodbye, GPI 1 or 1A, HGCB, Omega, Sourcewells, Smart Buy, and Text Buy, those are all co-ops, correct? So just maybe for me to simplify it, maybe a header of co-op, and then everybody can talk. Just a suggestion.
Yes, and I have the cooperative.
So does buy boards fall under co-op as well?
Yes.
Yes, all of
Okay, so
these.
all of them.
All of
Yes, and
them.
I put a
Okay.
local that authorizes us to.
Okay, all right, forget that question. They all part of the co-op. Okay. I had them confused. That's it.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 19, approve Texas opioid settlement agreements. Gentlemen, in your packet is a printout. The long and short of it is B County has been represented in the Texas opioid litigation for several years, and two recent settlement agreements have been reached by our attorneys and attorneys for the defendants. The first one is a settlement agreement with Purdue Pharma. I guess I don't know what their full name is. But the net return to B County would be $4,362.88. And the second settlement that they've reached is with defendants, Alvogen, Amneal, Apotex, Hikma, Beeville, Mylan, Sun, Zydus. And that settlement net back to B County, it's $3,953.10. Our attorney's recommendation is that that's on our page, packet page 479, for anybody so moved, is to accept the Purdue and Alvagen, Amneal, Apotex, Hickman, Indivior, Mylan, Sun, Zydus settlements, authorized county official signature on the order resolution and the federal release and participation forms. And so, unless there's some discussion, I'd entertain a motion to that effect. So moved. Got a motion and a second. Further discussion?
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Absolutely.
I looked this over carefully, 3953 and 4362, and the devil's in the details. Was this payable over 10 years? Because it talks about a 10-year payout, and I'm not thinking we're going to get this check for 39 or 43 right away. We're going to get $395, $436 over 10 years. I may be wrong. But
That may be true. I don't know.
it doesn't matter. Money's money.
I think so.
And we've gotten the other, we have over $30,000 in this account currently, and we've gotten paid out.
Yep.
So.
This isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good clarification.
So if the auditor's office gets a check for $400 some odd, you understand why.
Yes, and we have a deposit.
Exactly.
Quickly, great answer.
Quickly.
Actually.
Quickly.
That's aware.
Secret tomorrow.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. I apologize, Madam Auditor, I tried to move on before we got the SS.
Quick enough.
Just scratch.
There you go.
Agenda item number 20, Hurricane Harvey, Texas General Land Office, GLO, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, status and project update. Gentlemen, anything to update?
Just the meeting that we had in Tynan, and we got an upcoming meeting in Pettis. You have one
We're going to do another town hall, so things need to move along.
Excellent.
Now we're just battling for contractors.
Okay.
Every county is going to be battling for the first come, first served contracts.
There's no better place to do business in the state of Texas than right here in Beeville. God's country.
One reason is because we don't impose new fees on our decisions.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. You don't want that to get missed.
I don't know whether I mentioned that or not.
Chief, thank you for bringing that up again. There's no action necessary on agenda item number 20. Thank you for the update. We have no executive session items. Agenda item number 21, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for being